Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Sometimes the developments of science reveal such interesting facts of nature that we are just awestruck. Imagine the latest development shows that the squirrels, whom we like to see but we don't like in our backyard, but we can learn a lot from them. The gray squirrels listen to the chatter of the nearby birds and then they figure out that there's a danger nearby. That's amazing that the birds are talking about some coming danger, some animal, some predator who is coming, and they're talking among themselves and the squirrels listen to them. Earlier it was seen that the squirrels could tune into the cries of pain from other creatures. Only when some birds, some animals, some human being is in pain, they could understand the pain and the misery. But now it's much more because they can understand another species. Now here, mankind used to see from the birds, if the birds are going, that means winter is coming. If the birds are coming back in the direction which they are going, you could adjust the climates according to that. You could also sense that the coming of earthquakes and the eruptions of volcanoes was seen by the birds before we human beings could understand. And when I say birds, I include even the animals. They can sniff danger. But this is the first time that we have seen that even animals can sense. So this extra sensory perception. Secondly, the animals have a capacity to understand the language of other animals. So if squirrels can understand the language of the birds, that is amazing. And what they have done is the scientists in Auburn College, Ohio, that they picked up 67 girl squirrels from different areas, in different parks, in different residential regions, and then they put monitors on them, and then the recording of the call of a red-tailed hawk was played for about 30 seconds. And then their behavior in the next few seconds was noted, and it was seen that within 30 seconds of hearing the call, the squirrels increase the percentage of their time spent in being vigilant, showing behavior such as freezing, fleeing, standing. Wow. This is an addition to my knowledge. I'm sure you enjoyed this. But then coming back to the humankind, we are in the age of robotics. And in the work we are doing nowadays, telecommuting, we work from home, most of us. But the researchers in Japan have developed a new technology, a new system. They call it tele-existence. In this, robots are allowed and permitted and trained to see, hear, and operate in an environment from a remote location. These humanoid robots have been given a sense of touch, vibration, temperature. The benefit of this is that now the disabled people using these humanoid robots would be able to use them, having access to the world around them. A blind person can use this to see, a deaf person can use them to hear and operate. So not only that, in aging societies like Canada, like Japan especially, it will allow overseas workers to fill employment gaps. So you don't have to have immigration of the skilled workers. Say workers are there in Pakistan, they are there in India, they are there in the Philippines. They can keep on being there they need not come to your country and they can work. So this is removing the need of immigration. And that's a major factor. Most of the problems today are because of immigration. The illegal immigrants want to come. Now you can say, no, not at all. Remain where you are. If you want to work, okay, work by tele-existence. That's the new thing. And MIT is really a storehouse of research and coming up with such new startling inventions that imagination staggers. MIT has now made a robotic thread. We were talking of the humanoid robots, and now there's a thread. And this can even make the least invasive current brain surgery technique less so. It makes the blood vessels to be penetrated easily, to be more accessible, and brain blood vessels, when the blood clot comes, they cause aneurysms, they cause strokes. So this thread can be inserted in the vein and the blood vessel can be removed. This combines robotics, basically this research, with current endovascular surgery technique. The endovascular surgery is quite non-invasive, but this thread would reduce the risk associated with guiding incredibly thin wire through the complicated blood vessel pathways in the brain. Earlier till now, the surgeons used to put a very minute steel thread and then that wire was guided manually. But then there was a danger. So this would be much easier, and then radiation would be less because you are aware of where you are going. Earlier, if the chemotherapy was given to a certain blood vessel, it could even harm the healthy cells. Not now. MIT really deserves all the kudos and all the laurels for this breakthrough surgery. But then we have pain all the time. So the researchers at EPFL have developed a new biodegradable circuit that can be implanted in the body. Now this biodegradable circuit is implanted within you. It's a micropersonator, measures 3 mm wide and just 2 micron thick. So they implant it and you feel as if you have felt the pain of a needle while getting injection. And then, these micropersonators are made of magnesium and they are given an electric current from outside, from alternating electromagnetic field. And that current creates heat that will melt the capsule within that micropersonator containing certain drugs. And when that is heated, the capsule would open and the drug would go specifically where the body needs. So it's a combination of the body's need, robotics, and capability to maneuver. And the device can be tweaked according to the researchers to specific wavelengths. It can melt various different types of capsules at different times. Sometimes you might have a migraine, the other time you might have a sciatica, the third time you might have a gout. So different drugs can be there and the drug would be released on demand and in sequence. Many times you have to give one after the other, one drug, then after one. So the sequence can be maintained. The need has to be looked at. And then, the time you might be thinking, just 1 second. 1 second it takes for the capsule to melt and the drug to reach a specific location and provide relief from the pain. I hope they make it available to the patients like me as soon as possible. As I said, this is made of magnesium, which is coated on a substrate. and showered with ions to make the material into desired structure. Again, extremely useful as and when it is used to treat patients. But then one thing which did engross me was we have been thinking and talking of the power of the mind and the power of the brain. But can you imagine that you are sitting on the seashore now I hated that micropersonator for my pain. I really needed it. Anyway, I was talking about the new capability of the mind which has been seen. You are sitting on the seashore, waves are coming, you have spent 1 hour, 2 hours, morning till evening, watching the dance of the waves. And then you say, well, one more wave and no more. Like, you know the story of King Canute, who one of the courtiers said, Your Highness, you can control even the ocean. And he said to the ocean, no more waves, but the ocean continued coming. And King Canute said, look here, flattery will get you nowhere. But anyway, here, if King Canute had that capability, that determination, he could have stopped it. So according to the scientists of Scripps Institute of Oceanography, if you're surfing alone, there should be no company with you, but then you can be alone. I didn't say lonely, I said alone. So even if there's a crowd, you can insulate yourself from the noise. The main thing is your mind should be fully in tune with the ocean. And then, once you are fully in tune with the ocean, without a distraction, and you feel tired, you see hundreds of other surfers have been there, and then you say to the ocean, well, one wave and no more. Believe me, according to these scientists, the ocean knows that there'll be no more waves. And they say they have tried it on 100 people from California to New Jersey, in Australia and in Ireland. And 94% times they were successful in stopping the waves of the ocean. The power of the mind was overwhelmingly powerful, and the ocean listened to it. This study was published this week in Telepathic Ocean, and it makes a great deal of sense. What that means is, in my mind, that the ocean has a connection to the people who spend a lot of time there. So you have to develop a communication level, and then you can do it. But then is the power of your mind, and the power of the mind, which has, they say, can move mountains. The faith can move mountains. Here you are stopping the waves of the ocean. Wow, that is really great. And before we end the episode of today, I'd like to let you know that a new program has been initiated at present. It's being introduced on the initiative of the World Economic Forum, called Non-Traveler Digital Identity Program, KTDI. And this is now being developed on a pilot level between Canada and Denmark. Then you won't need a passport to go to Denmark, for example, they say. You will be using non-traveler digital identity. And this pilot project already has some passengers enrolled in it. But by 2030, they think that the international air travel using this program shall reach 1.8 billion passengers. So what happens is that the person arriving at the participating airport already have their identity data encrypted and stored on the mobile phone instead of the passport microchip. Normally now there's a microchip in the passport which stores your data. And information, the moment you go to the aircraft, is sent to the border authorities, to the airlines. And individual consent is taken from the passenger every time the data is sent. So you can control your personal data, but you do not carry the paper passport. This would speed up the flow of passengers through airports and also reduce the risk of cross-border identity frauds. The terrorists who want to go shall be weeded out, and the innocent people who are sometimes mistaken to be terrorists would not suffer. So this new program, KTDI, is already being initiated, and I think in the next couple of months it will be operating. So these were the new frontiers of knowledge that we explored today. And we meet next week, same time, to see the further advancements and enhancements of our capabilities and our knowledge. Thank you.